For this special COVID Care Series fundraiser, I'm very happy to have Indian cricketer and founder of Cricket Ventures, Badrinath, to discuss building resilient teams, lessons from the cricket field. A few words to introduce Badri. Crickbuzz called Badri a technician with a bat, a person possessing immense mental fortitude and a cool head. He represented Indian cricket in all three formats of the game during a time when the Indian middle order was packed with phenomenal talent like Sachin, Ganguly, Dravid, and Laxman. He fought his way into the Indian cricket squad through his phenomenal performance, over 10,000 first class runs in the domestic circuit, and he captained Tamil Nadu. He represented Chennai Super Kings for 6 seasons in IPL, winning multiple times. Welcome, Badri, and thank you for supporting this COVID Care series.
Hi, thank you, Adil. Thanks a lot for having me here. And yeah, I'm glad to be here and associated with a good cause. Yeah, we're all going through tough times, but I'm really happy to be here. Once again, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Badri. So, this event is a fundraiser in support of NGOs Whitefield Rising and Dream India Network in their fight against COVID 19. You can contribute to their cause at the URL running in the ticker below, which will be there through the show and posted in the comment section now. This fundraiser is to help manage 4 dedicated quarantine and COVID care centers for 172 children in Bangalore. These are children whose parents are not able to look after them, and children who live in orphanages and childcare centers for their COVID care. So, Badri, let's dive right into it. After you retired, after scoring 10,000 first class runs, representing India in Test, One Days, T20, and winning multiple IPL, you founded Cricket Ventures and started Raise Your Game. Tell us more about this Raise Your Game program.
Yeah, Raise Your Game is something that is connecting with the common man through cricket. So cricket is something that everyone in India relate to and connect to. Something that I think encompasses borders and encompasses many things, cultural differences, everything. I think cricket is something that passes through all this. So we thought we would come up with a program, a structured program, even though these things have been happening in the past, a structured program called Raise Your Game, where we take lessons and essences from the cricket field, and then translate it into a program where me along with a really world-class trainer will be there, and we will be sharing all these experiences and taking the essences from the cricket field into the corporate arena.
Very interesting, Badri. So your nickname at CSK, right, was Mr. Dependable. Now let's start with what are some of the lessons you learned in the cricket field that you believe are important for all leaders?
Yeah, I was nicknamed Mr. Dependable. Mainly because my role in CSK was something of that sort, because we had a really, really big batting lineup, very fiery batting lineup, which included Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Suresh Raina, Matthew Hayden, Michael Hussey, Albie Morkel, one of the biggest hitters in world cricket, were there in our side. So my role was, when there was a tough situation, when the chips were down, I had to go and steady the ship and take it from there. So our coach Stephen Fleming named me Mr. Fix It. so kind of very nicknames, but yes, Mr. Dependable was kind of me. So it stuck on from then on many tough situations that I played in. So what I think was, we are kind of in a similar situation where I used to go into bat right now with COVID-19, because many times when you, for example, if we take T20 cricket, right, you are constantly expected to score at least 10 runs per over, where you end up getting close to 200 is in a very par score these days. So you're constantly expected to score at that run rate, but then you get yourself in some difficult situations. Like I had to bat many times for CSK, 30 for 2, 20 for 2. For these kind of situations, I think it's important to, reassess what the targets are. I think many times, you think, before the start of a match, you think that 180 is a par score, but suddenly you're 20 for 2, you have to probably bring it down to 160, 150. That is the score I'm going to work towards. And at that situation, maybe playing one over, even playing a maiden over. I remember one match where I played a maiden over against Shane Warne, Rajasthan Royals, but I was the man of the match in that game. So I had to get myself out of that sticky situation, but I ended up being the man of the match, where I had played a maiden over in against Shane Warne because the wicket was turning. It was hard. So this is the kind of situation the world is in as well, I think. So I think the small things, even if you do for the current situation, I think you can just do it, get out of it, and then things will get better, and you can you can go on to get the runs. For example, like me, you can be the man of the match, but you have to get yourself out of this situation first. So like you said, I think that's where my name Mr. Dependable came in. And I would like to add just maybe one example of one match. Actually, I would like to share. CSK were playing against Mumbai Indians in 2012. So this was an eliminator game. So between third and fourth position game, CSK, we got a backdoor entry. We were playing against Mumbai Indians in Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore. So we were not in the greatest of form that year, but still somehow we qualified. It was a seaming wicket in Bangalore. There was a little bit of rain, overcast conditions, and all that. So CSK lost the toss. We were batting. First ball, Murli Vijay got out. Third ball of the match, Suresh Raina got out. So we were 0 for 2. I went into bat in the first over where the score was 0 for 2. Me and Michael Hussey, we just batted our hearts out. We ran like crazy. We were like literally willing to kind of, putting ourselves in the line. We got ourselves out of the situation. And we were only less than 20 runs in the first 6 overs. Power play was gone, less than 20 runs. So we were thinking, what are we going to do? But slowly the situation improved. I remember I hit a 6 of Harbhajan Singh. Then I got my rhythm. Michael Hussey again hit another 6 of Harbhajan in the same over. So suddenly things started to change, and we ended up scoring about 90 plus in 14 overs. And then Dhoni came in last 6 overs. He got 80. So we ended up getting 180 from 0 for 2. And then we went on to win that match. So this is how it is. I think sometimes it might look really bad, the situation, but then when you get yourself out of it, even doing the small things, and then things are much greener on the other side.
So you're saying that in tough situations like what you faced on the field and what corporates are facing with COVID, that small things are actually big things. Now, as a team or as a leader, right? How do you know when to push, or when to say that, hey, things are difficult, let's just bide our time? How do you take that decision?
I think it comes from confidence. So basically, when I thought that when I go into bat, the ball is swinging, seaming, bouncing, and so it's hard for me. If it's going to be hard for me, I think it's going to be hard for the next batsman as well. At 24-2, if I'm finding it hard, at 34-4, my teammate will find it harder. So I think it's important to realize that if I find it hard, probably my teammate will definitely find it hard as well. So that's when you realize, okay, the situation is hard, and probably even batting 1 over without getting out will be a huge plus. It might turn out to be a big target that you have achieved during that time. So basically, when that's how I thought. I'm a good batsman. I'm a quality batsman. If it's hard for me, definitely it's going to be hard enough, or probably harder with 1 more wicket down for the next batsman to come in.
Got it. So, Badri, with Cricket Ventures and Raise Your Game, you've almost, I think, set up the first structured program where you're taking lessons from the cricket field. Now, the topic today is resilience, right? And we talk about resilience in light of very, very difficult situations. Now, people who followed you know that one of the classic stories is, how CSK bounced back from a very, very, very bad 2010 season. So, can you distill for us what are the lessons you took from that experience that can help us learn how to deal with difficult situations?
Yeah, I think that was a really big turnaround season. 2010 happens to be a very, very crucial season for CSK. Even what they are now, if you can ask any player from CSK, they will say that 2010 was the year that turned it around. And it wasn't an easy year, 2010. It was a very, very hard year. It was a roller coaster of a year. I remember Dhoni got injured. Actually, I was in the non-striker end. Dhoni got injured of a Shane Bond delivery. Shane Bond, the New Zealand fast bowler, he was really quick at the time, 150 plus he used to bowl. So Dhoni had a forearm fracture. So he was a key player, captain. He missed 5 games. So from then on, we started losing, and we were definitely not in the rhythm. And I remember having this conversation with Ravichandran Ashwin. We were good mates. Of course, we were from Chennai. We were in the swimming pool, and Ashwin had this habit about saying some random things. He always used to just put out things. He said that he called me bat. I think we are going to win this season. Somehow I feel we are losing 5 matches in a row. We had 7 more games to go. We had to win 6 out of the 7 to even qualify to the top 4. I was thinking, what is Ash? What are you saying, Ash? We have to really play good cricket. Our skipper is injured. What are we going to do and all that? So I remember having this conversation in Nagpur after we had lost against Deccan Chargers. So that time they were called Deccan Chargers. So we took a flight back to Chennai. So our team bus, it's coming into the hotel, into Crown Plaza in the evening around 6 o'clock. So our team manager raises up and he says, guys, we all have a dinner with our team management, 7 o'clock, please come in your team t-shirt to the dinner area. So he just said, so we were all like, kind of, you know how it is, right? When you're not playing well, we know we are not playing well, we're not playing to our potential. And the management says, okay, we want to have dinner with you. Usually it is kind of, they are going to ask some questions. Why, what is happening? Come on, you have to pick up your socks, stuff like that. But then we went to dinner. Our owners came, India Cements, they came. There was a very, very short conversation from the management. They said, simply, guys, we are very proud to have you in our team. Doesn't matter what happens from here, we qualify. Doesn't matter whatever happens. We are sure you're all good players. It is just a phase we are going through. No matter what happens, we are proud to have you in our team as cricketers. You're all quality. You'll always be quality players in our eye. That's all they said. It was just a 5-minute talk and they just went off. You wouldn't believe, Adil, after this, we won the 6 out of the 7 games. We qualified to the top 4. We won the semi-final. We went on to win the trophy. I'm sure you guys all should remember that Dhoni celebration like this in Dharamshala. That was a brilliant win. We chased 195 plus in a must-win game against Kings XI Punjab. We went on to win the tournament. So I think this is what it's all about. I think resilience. When you talk resilience, it's cricketers, yes, resilient, but I think the management were also resilient. And that time they were, they didn't put any pressure on us. They had complete trust in us as cricketers, as a team. And I think we responded, of course, as players as well.
So it sounds as if what really made a big difference to you was the confidence. Like at a time wherein you thought they were going to be upset, they just said, hey guys, we're confident. We know you guys are really good. And we're sure that, you'll give it your best shot. And that's all it took.
Yes, I think only a resilient management can, build a resilient team. So I thought definitely there was resilient from the management side. And trust as well. I think trust, like we say, it's a two-way stream. When you trust someone, they repay you with the trust, and the relationship obviously keeps building.
Great answer, Badri. Let me just call out the fundraiser again to anyone who joined a little late. This event is in support of NGOs Whitefield Rising and Dream India Network in their fight against COVID-19. You can contribute to this cause. The URL is in the ticker band that's constantly running through the show and in the comments section now. This fundraiser is to help manage 4 dedicated quarantine and COVID care centers for 172 children in Bangalore. These are children who need COVID care, whose parents are not able to look after them, and children who live in orphanages and childcare centers. Now, back to our conversation, Badri. So you have played different roles in a very long career. Now, you've also groomed players who today might be superstars and legends, but you've groomed them when they were very young. Now, you have a very, very interesting story when you were India A captain, I believe, working with Virat Kohli. Talk to us about how you helped him or how he overcame difficulties.
Like you mentioned, I wouldn't go to the extent of saying that I've groomed, but definitely I think I've played a lot with these cricketers. I think especially Virat, I think I've seen the journey of Virat Kohli from about 18, 19 years old till what he is now. I think so. We played a lot of cricket together before we played for India. In fact, 2008, both of us made our debuts in the same ODI series in Sri Lanka. So this incident happened just before 2008 Sri Lanka series. There was a India A tour to Australia. So I was leading that side, and Virat was part of the team. He had just come out of the under-19s. He was the under-19 World Cup winning captain. Very, very talented youngster. He hadn't played much cricket, but he was definitely. You could see that time itself that he is, cut above the rest. The way he batted in the nets, the timing, the ball coming off the bat. You could see the difference straight away. But as we went on to the tournament, the conditions were a little bit testing in Australia. Obviously, as a youngster, he hadn't played in Australia, so he had consecutively 4 failures. Virat Kohli. He was batting at number 6, and he was constantly failing. And there was different ways he was getting out. It's not like one way he was getting out. He was getting himself runouts. He was just losing it wicket to some false shots and stuff like that. But then we had to take a decision. The fifth game, me and coach. The coach was Mr. Praveen Amre. He also played for India. He's from Bombay, so he was the coach. So morning after breakfast, we came to the ground, and me and the captain and coach discussion. What do we do with Virat Kohli? 4 failures. There are others waiting for an opportunity, but Virat is a really good player, and we are in the crucial match. So Praveen Amre, I think it was his decision. Praveen Amre, basically, he said that, Padri, I think we have to fit Virat Kohli somehow. I think, in the side, I think, why not we try and send him opening? Why not we try and, clear his mind? Then we thought that what led to the decision was, when he opens, he would have a clear mind. He would just be there 0 for 0 anyway, right? There is no situation pressure. So he can just go and bat freely. So we took the call, okay, Virat Kohli, opening. We are going to give him one more chance. You wouldn't believe that match it was against New Zealand A. Virat scored a brilliant 130, like a brilliant knock. It was superb. We were chasing a score. We were chasing a score of 260. Virat scored 130 plus, extraordinary knock shots all around the ground, crisp shots. Incidentally, Mr. Dilip Vengsarkar was the selection committee chairman then. I remember he was walking around the ground, taking a walk, watching the match. He had come with his family, his wife. So he saw this, and immediately that innings changed Virat Kohli's career. I think the next series he was there in the team, and it played a huge role. So I think it is something that I'm proud of to be part of. Like at that time, a difficult time, a player is failing 4 innings a row is quite a bit for India A. But I think we took the call, captain and a coach, to make Virat open in that innings, and he responded as well. It's not just us. I think the player responded as well by being resilient, still going out there and executing and playing a brilliant knock. So this is what happens. I think when captain and coach push the player up the order or chain of command, he responds. The relationship automatically, I think, develops there, and it stays for a long time.
Fantastic story, Badri. I don't know if anyone's heard that one before, but how Vengsarkar saw that knock and he was in the team in the next series. Very, very interesting. So, Badri, in your Test debut, right? You played against Stein. You scored 56, one of only 2 Indian batsmen in double digits. In your one-day debut, you had an unbeaten knock in a low-scoring game with Dhoni, which won the game for India. Now, when you're playing such versatile geniuses, right, as adversaries, what did you learn from debuting against these kinds of legends, right, that helped you in in your professional life?
I think it's all about belief. I think what differentiates cricketers from levels is it's actually not the game. If you go and play higher up the ladder, you start to see that the ability wise they also are mostly the same. There is not a huge amount of difference, but they have complete belief in the self. They trust themselves completely, saying that, okay, I know what I'm doing. I have clarity. Even if I face sometimes, players, when there is no confidence, when you go initially, you don't play your best. You tend to believe, oh, I'm not good for this level. I'm in a different league. But that's not the case. It's if you have complete belief, you have earned your right to be there. It's you're there because you're good enough. Once you have that belief, I think doors will automatically open, options will open. I think this is what I felt was very, very crucial when playing with these legends, when playing with I think especially Dhoni. I think the one thing that I always learned when playing with him is he has complete belief in the self. It doesn't matter what the media says, what doesn't matter what others think. It doesn't matter. Things that perhaps we might not know. I think Mahendra Singh Dhoni, I think he has the ability and he backs himself. For example, something like people were wondering why he perhaps gave the ball to Joginder Sharma in the last over of the 2007 World Cup, but there is a valid reason for he backed himself. So I think that was the difference that Dhoni and these top level cricketers bring to the table. I think it is complete belief in their own self that they are doing the right thing.
Got it, got it. And tell me, for these great legends, right? One is to have complete belief, but what about, are they open to feedback? Are they always learning, or do they feel they know everything? And how do we reconcile this complete belief with also learning? Just talk us through that.
Yes, you're right, Adil. I think they have the most, they are actually very, very open-minded. That's what makes them great. I think important thing is, for example, I think Murthy Muralidharan, right? Murthy Muralidharan is one of the greatest legends of the game. He has taken 800 plus wickets. So 2008, when IPL came, Muralidharan was there in CSK. So I was a youngster. I hadn't even played for India at that time. So I was as a youngster in CSK. But Murli, he T20 format IPL was something new to him. So he wanted to make his mark. He would keep bowling 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours in the nets. He'd keep on bowling. And he will come and ask me, a youngster, he will come and ask me, Badri, did you feel comfortable with this ball? Can I come round the wicket? If I bowl outside of stump, can you hit me there? Can you hit me over cover? Can you play me against the spin? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? He used to grill me constantly. I was a youngster. He is a legend, 800 plus wickets, but he will come and ask me, how did I bowl? This is what it's all about. I think it's end of the day, it's not about, like you said, it's not about levels or anything else. It's about having an open mind. If you, I think, have an open mind, I think automatically you can learn from beneath some small things that you see in a daily, day-to-day basis, and you will keep growing as an individual.
Got it, got it. Now, in addition to being Mr. Dependable, one could also say that you were Mr. Resilient, 10,000 first-class runs. But you said that, you've had to face a lot, Badri, lots of ups and downs through a cricketing career, and 2014 was a tough year for you. Can you talk us through dealing with tough times? Because it doesn't matter who you are, right? You can be anyone, but, everyone goes through ups and downs, and these downs are very tough, right? Talk us through how you dealt with your downs.
Yeah, I think for a cricketer, I think it hits you really hard, because we are seeing everything early, and we are living life at a little bit of a fast pace. So 2014 was a bad year for me, because I was in the Indian team. I was having a pretty good contract with CSK, 6 years for them, main player and everything. Suddenly 2014, I was left out in the auction. Suddenly I was like, I didn't have anywhere to go. And I had come and they had rested me. Even Tamil Nadu had suddenly decided to rest me from the T20 team. I don't know what was happening. Suddenly, I felt like everything, my whole life or world has shut down. So this was the feeling that I was going through. In fact, I was actually contemplating quitting cricket. So I had to actually go and work with a mind coach for 1 year to get myself back into cricket. But what we worked with, I think the mind coach were two things that we worked on. I think I started developing a little bit different perspective to myself. So our mind coach thought that, okay, now you played so much cricket, now your role has to change. It's not just about being you. I think it's about how many people you can take along with you. So what I decided to do was I wanted to play for a different team. Tamil Nadu was a well-established team. So I signed a 2-year contract. I went and played for Vidarbha, which is like a very, very small team of good set of youngsters, but who are willing to learn, but they lack their experienced player. They lack the player who could actually groom them as a captain, as a senior player. So I went and played for Vidarbha a couple of years. So there my role was very different. I had to talk to the players. I had to, not only me when I batted, it was just me a batsman, but when I was a captain, it's about how I take these players along with me. At the end of the season, I wanted to show that at least 3-4 players, I helped them play their best cricket. If I help them play the best cricket, my team is going to benefit. Automatically, I'm going to benefit. This is how I thought about it. So it was not about just me, but how many players I can take along with me. And the second thing we worked on was expectations. I think expectations are something that you constantly keep putting on yourself. Okay, Badrinath is someone you expect results all from him all the time. When Badrinath goes to play, he has to get 100. So I started shedding all these expectations and started becoming a little bit more goal oriented, commitment oriented. So when I started doing these things, I started thinking a little bit like a novice, a new person, stuff like that. So that helped me prolong my career. I played 3-4 years more of professional cricket. So like you mentioned, Adil, I think it's important to realize that life is not going to be the same all the time. It is, no matter what you do, no matter how big you are. For even the Virat Kohlis, Sachin's, Dhoni, they've all spoken about it, I think, at some point in their career. So you are going to face your slump, but I think it's not about getting the slump, but it's about how you are responsive to the slump. I think it's important not to react. Important thing is not to react, but be more responsive to the situation.
Correct. And Badri, in this long career, right, you've played with like these superstars. You've also played with, these talented young kids at Vidarbha. What have you learned, or what can you tell us about getting the best out of people, right? Is it different strategy for, the big stars and different strategy for the young kids? Or do you take a similar approach to get the best from your team?
Yeah, you don't know. Definitely not. I think everyone needs to be addressed differently, spoken. Every word needs to be spoken differently. So 2016, right, was my last season as professional cricketer. I was playing for Hyderabad. Mr. Bharat Tarun, who has worked a lot with me as an youngster, he's the current bowling coach of Indian team. So that season, he was coach for Hyderabad, and I was playing for Hyderabad. I won my last season. So I was a captain again. So there were two bowlers who were main bowlers, three bowlers, main bowlers, but two of them, I'll talk about this two bowlers. One guy's name was Ravi Kiran, another one was Mohammad Siraj. So Mohammad Siraj, who is playing for the Indian team now. So Mohammad Siraj was a rookie who came into the Hyderabad side for the first year. And this Ravi Kiran was pretty established player. He was really from a good nice background, big family and everything. But Mohammad Siraj came from a very, very ordinary background where he could understand only Hindi. So these were two different bowlers, both main bowlers in the team who had to bowl. So I was just watching the way Bharat Tarun, the current bowling coach, used to talk. So he used to go to Ravi Kiran, other bowler. He'll say, Ravi, you know what? You have to stick to outside off stump line. That's where you used to an in-swing bowler. He used to say, you have to stick to this line from outside the off stump, keep bringing it to the right hander. But he will go to Mohammad Siraj and he'll be like, Abe, dra. तेरे को सिर्फ एक ही चीज करना है आउटसाइड ऑफ स्टंप सिर्फ उधर ही डालना है बस तू कुछ नहीं करने का जाओ like he used to I was like a little bit suddenly he's changing two different things, so it might look funny, but then I asked Arun, I used to call him Paji. I said, Paji, what are you doing? He said, that's how you have to talk to him. So I know his background, I know where he comes from. So this is the way he talked to him, but this is the way he talked to Ravi Kiran. So a simple thing, when you connect through their language or say it in the right way, these guys were like, so Mohammad Siraj, when you spoke like that, he'd be like, karunga, मैं करूंगा, ball दे दो, मैं करूंगा. Badri bhai, मेरे को ball दे दो, मैं डालूंगा. He was like that. And Ravi Kiran will be like, you got to do like this, He'll be like, yes, Badri, I will do this. So these are the kind of, this, I'm just giving you an example of how like you mentioned, I think there are, in a team, you get so many different kind of people. I think it's important to connect with them and handle them the right way. And definitely, I think you can get the best out of them.
Great. So, Badri, before we go to the last question I have for you, I'm going to make the fundraiser announcement one last time. So, this event is in support of NGOs Whitefield Rising and Dream India Network in their fight against COVID-19. You can contribute to their URL. We hope you've enjoyed this discussion with Badri. We thank him for spending his time supporting this cause. The URL is on the ticker that's running through the show. It's also in the comment section now. This fundraiser is to help manage 4 dedicated quarantine and COVID care centers for 172 children in Bangalore. These are children whose parents are not able to look after them, who live in orphanages and childcare centers. So, Badri, now to the last question. you are now reinventing yourself, right? You became a commentator with Star India. You've started Cricket Ventures. Raise Your Game is your new corporate initiative. Tell us what you're looking to contribute to the country, right, with this Raise the Game program that you've come up with.
Yeah, the main thing is to, I think, create a difference. I think world over, I think COVID, with COVID as well, it has become really really important to maintain relationships, build trust, build confidence, develop communication skills. There are so many things that actually needs to be inculcated. And like I mentioned before, I think the whole world is going through a change right now. Everything is changing. From, if you even take cricket, it is not, the game is not the same what it was 10 years before. The way it is being played, the way the game is being enjoyed, the way his game is being coached, everything is changing. I think the next natural step in the process is we use technology, we use online to through cricket is something that, like I mentioned before, connects with everyone. I think in Indians, they in India, there are two things that connect people, I think, beyond regions, and it's cricket and cinema. So I think through cricket, we can create a difference to the people of our country. This is actually what I am trying to achieve through Raise Your Game. And once, like we dive deep into the the cricket game, it teaches you a lot. A game of cricket, it teaches you a lot about many different things. Decision making, every ball you play is a decision making. Everything you have, captaincy is leadership. So there are so many different things out there. So we want to take the essence out of the things that happen on the cricket field, and how we can incorporate it. So that is our motive in through Raise Your Game.
So thank you, Mr. Dependable, for stepping up and supporting this COVID care initiative. People, I hope you enjoyed it. Please pull out your credit cards, go to the link that's on the screen this very minute and contribute. Thank you, Badri.
Thank you, Adik. Thank you.